Hello everyone, welcome to your Fantasy Football Scout Q&A ahead of Game Week 26. My name is Az and I'm joined by Sam Bon. Oh no, it's Mr. Gianni Battici with his 4K resolution webcam. How are you, mate?
I'm very well. It's been a long time since we last spoke. I don't think we've streamed together this season. Maybe not. I don't think we have.
I don't think we have. No, because obviously we did the team selections for Scout. You've now got your own channel. Yeah. Did you do a Q&A with me earlier in the season? I thought you might have done.
Maybe. No, you asked me, and I was somewhere like Oh no, we did do it. We did do one. I was in Miami.
Yeah. We've done one.
Just got out of the shower.
I miss our weekly team selection video.
Someone commented on my YouTube channel the other day saying, like, why don't you do videos with Az anymore? That was the GOAT FPL content. I was like, wow, it wasn't that. Trust me, it wasn't that good. But
hey,
I do miss my weekly chats, because last year we did not only team section every week, but I did probably, 4 or 5 black boxes towards the end of the season. So we at one point were streaming twice a week. It was loads of fun.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Well, as a so we're in for the Q&A. So get your questions in. We kind of decided to split these over the two channels, don't we? We're going to do some Q&A on this channel, and then if you've not had enough of that, we're going to switch over to your channel to do a Q&A.
For more Q&A. And some press conference roundups. I thought I'd change the title. So
nice.
Probably the same chat, but I've called it press conference stream. But it'll be a bit both.
Bloody press conferences. My move this week, and I did the FPL show earlier, and they asked what my move was going to be.
Did you do that today?
And my move was going to be Darwin to Hoyland. That was going to be my move.
It actually? Yeah.
Yep. So I get back from the FPL show. All the content's outdated because Hoyland's out for now for 2 or 3 weeks. Tom, the producer's fuming because we're planning and stuff. It's a shame. But yeah, here we are. We've got Chris in the chat saying, where's El Fossi gone? He was brilliant. Chris has been doing all the streams this week. He's one with Edge earlier.
Was there?
Yeah, they did one with Ed on like a kind of support group for those having a bad game week. He did the team news just before this, and he wanted to be on the Q&A with me, and I was like, sorry, mate, I got Gianni signed up.
Love that. Excellent. Well, yeah, I'll always step in for an extra with you, mate. But I must go back and watch the support group. I mean, Chris and Ed as a combination for support group. I'm there for it.
It's amazing. And Chris, while you're watching, please get a decent mic and sort that headset out. You know my thoughts on that from when I worked at Scout. But no, it was a very good stream. Let's take some questions then. Let's start with Jonathan Barker. Should I sell KDB? Feels like a knee-jerk reaction. We've both got him. What are you doing with him?
Mate, I think the reaction, and look, Fantasy Football Scout always give you the up-to-date press conference news. So, like, within minutes of Pep's quoting, I saw Scout tweeted, and I think that's a tweet everyone has seen. I read that as positive, yet most of the quote tweets on it are, I might sell De Bruyne then. I read that as, good, he's fitter than he was a few days ago, because if he travels, he's match fit, and he ain't travelling all the way down to Bournemouth to not get off the bench. He either starts or he comes off the bench. I think you get minutes from De Bruyne over the weekend. In fact, if he travels, almost certainly he does. Yeah, sure, we're not confident of a start, and it would be rubbish if he didn't. But if he needs a rest, he's rested for the FA Cup a few days later. I think he starts.
He's a risky sell, I think, because we know what he can do off the bench, but there are decent midfield options. I mean, KDB to Hwang feels like, I don't know, it feels wrong, like on paper, but I don't think he's making real bank with that. I'm holding him this week and hoping for something. I think he can do damage in that game, kind of wherever he plays. So I would keep him, but I mean, we were never going to get anything concrete from Pep, were we? So
no. Yeah, so I take that as actually slightly good info. But do check out training ground pictures later. They train at 4 today, so right now they're training. By 6, 7 tonight, we'll probably get some images on Man City's socials. If you see him training with the ball with the rest of the team, you're like, yeah, well, he's ready.
Yep. Brandon Ong says KDB is a hold for him as well. Interesting, FPL copycat here. Not a fan of the He-Chan moves. I mean, talk about player of the week. Everyone and his dog's going for Hwang at the moment, it feels.
I saw a meme of Hwang and Neto as like prime Messi and Ronaldinho. I do get it. I probably am going Hwang, but I'm a Jota seller. And I think if you're selling Jota, if you own Jota, you're definitely selling him. And Hwang does make a lot of sense. And it's all about the entry point on this one. It's all about making the most of that first fixture. To be fair, I'll probably be benching him for the next few weeks because I've got 8 good attackers. But this week, against Sheffield United at home, Wolves' attack does feel obvious.
I think if this was a week where we didn't see Spurs blanking, I think Jota to maybe like Maddison or Richarlison would be popular, given they've got the game in 29 as well. But you're looking at the mids, and it's really hard to see like an equivalent mid. Like the Fat Wang's got 3 good games coming up, playing out of position, probably on penalties. And people have got the money from Jota, and people having to make a midfielder move because the strikers are where it's at, really. I mean, I know Haaland's out, and that's so bloody frustrating. But with Tony, with Watkins, with Solanke as well, moving to one of those 3. But if you've kind of got those in place, you need to make a midfielder move. And Hwang's just obvious, I think. One of those annoying, obvious moves that everyone is going for. Mike says, what about Sarabia or Neto? I mean, you're on the Hwang train though, right?
Yeah, Neto's the one. I think it's a close call. I think Neto next week against Newcastle away, it's a more Neto fixture. But this week against Park the Bus Sheffield United, Neto and Sarabia won't have the space to gallop into. And actually, I think you go for the guy in the box, the number 9, and Hwang. We've seen Neto catch the eye against Spurs twice, but that's because, it's counter-attack and it suits him. So next week, maybe Newcastle. But outside of Wolves mids, you say as it's slim pickings, and you're so right there. The other players I've looked at, I want to get your take. Some might go still to Bowen because they're like fixture in 29. It's still Jared Bowen, a good player, and at some point West Ham will score goals. I mean, surely. I'm not going there because I just go, they're on a massive decline. Even with Paqueta and Antonio, I still don't like investing in a team that's just so poor at the moment. But the other one is, and you speak all the time to Mark, is Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey, I was hot on at the start of the week. And then as the week's gone on, I think I've probably, and I hate to admit it, got FOMO on Hwang. But he does play in 29. He is a starter. He started 10 and 12. Yes, he comes off early a lot. And yes, he's a couple of games from being dropped if he plays poorly. But Villa have also got good fixtures. And he is super advanced in that team. Yeah,
I mean, the issue with Bailey, like everyone knows, is just the rotation. Off at 70 minutes, maybe Diaby comes on. Diaby's been really poor for quite a while. So I think the start for Bailey is pretty locked in. I just think Bowen, like you say, surely West Ham, all the talk as well is that Paqueta is going to be kind of rushed back. It's not always a great thing if he's not fully fit. But what I like about West Ham is that Burnley game in 28. As well, because looking at all the fixtures for West Ham versus the fixtures for Aston Villa, they're equally kind of good, but that Burnley at home fixture kind of really stands out. And I'm looking at Kudus and looking at Bowen and thinking they're going to get joy in that game because Burnley are going to attack and they're going to have space to push through, and they're both definitely going to almost certainly play 90 minutes in those games. So I'd put those 2 ahead of Bailey, but if I was looking for an Aston Villa mid, I'd go Bailey over Louise, I think.
Yeah, we're aligned there. Aligned there.
Nuclear Atoms in the chat. Hello. Going for 8 Nori since I chose Garnacho over Hwang. Yeah, I mean, a few things to go for this one. I mean, what do you think of 8 Nori? That's the move I'm considering this week as well. Surely a locked-in clean sheet. Easy 6 points.
In theory.
As it always is.
Yeah, I do like 8 Nori. I think I was looking at defenders earlier this week. I don't think I'll make a defensive move anymore. I do have a Stupinan. Like you've got
Same,
Stupinan, right?
Of course, yeah.
But I think I'm going to chance it and just chuck him in unless we hear different. But I was looking at Pau Torres or Moreno. So I was looking at Aston Villa defence, 8 Nori, or if money wasn't an issue, you just go to an extra Arsenal defender if you only have one. And I think Saliba still makes a ton of sense for those that are just on Gabriel and Saka. But 8 Nori's definitely up there in my sort of top 3. I'm so attacking. I love an average position map, and 8 Nori is picking up almost wide forward positions at times.
Yeah, I mean, that is nice. I mean, I can do Kabore out, who's not even playing for Luton, to 8 Nori, and then Darwin to Solanke. It was going to be Darwin to Haaland, like I said, but Solanke was always the kind of sensible pick anyway, given that it's Burnley next and then the double after City. 8 Nori's the kind of like funnish one where if you've got a dead spot, like a player who's not playing or someone like Kabore, it feels like quite a good opportunity just to move them on and get in someone who is gonna play. A few people talking about Stupinan. I mean, is this Stupinan a sell? Says FPL Copycat. Tim WD mentions this ridiculous quote from De Zerbi, which is he's had Ansu Fati and Stupinan at his house and he rotates the players to try his Italian kitchen. I mean, I don't know what you do with that. Lungani says De Zerbi had dinner with Estepinian. That's good news. It's not always good news, is it? I'll be breaking the news to him gently that he's not playing.
I mean, firstly, what manager has players round their house for dinner? Like, that's awesome. That it actually happens.
I saw Pochettino saying he had a barbecue at the start of the season with the Chelsea players.
Okay,
but
nice.
A rotating kitchen where he cooks some pasta. I've never heard of that.
On a weekly basis. It's like you're not just entertaining once a season. You've got to have players around every... But, I mean, it's quite cool. And Fati is a player coming back from injury who has been out a long time. And Estupiñán is a player that's not been flavour of the month and not started the last couple. So it's interesting that those two are on the rotation this week. Maybe there's something in that, or maybe it's completely random and it's just 2 each week from a hat or whatever. I don't know. What do you think, Az? I mean, I think at some point Estupiñán will need minutes because Brighton are about to get 2 legs against Roma. They've got the Premier League. Fixtures become thick and fast again. And when they do, what does De Zerbi love to do? Rotate a ton. And if he's rotating a ton, he needs his core of 15 players all getting regular minutes. And Estupiñán hasn't really had them. He's had 10-minute cameos in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is the answer? If it was me and my team, I'd be playing Estupiñán every week. I'd be forgiving him for any errors he's made because I think he's probably our best player, or at least in the top 3 of our players. But it was a very, very comprehensive win against Sheffield United. I know they had 10 men, but they obviously played the way De Zerbi wanted to play football. Got a big win, and it was a good performance against Spurs as well. The week before, we conceded that last minute equaliser.
Estupiñán gave the ball away for that.
Well, exactly. So you've got a good performance with Spurs, but Estupiñán making a mistake, he gets dropped, and then it's a good performance against Sheffield United. My theory would be he'll miss this one and play in the cup in the week. But that's not what people want to hear. But I would, unless he changes a winning team that's just won 5-0. I don't know. I think he just carries on with it.
Most managers wouldn't. They'd go, "You've just won 5-0," but De Zerbi changes every team all the time, doesn't he? I don't know. I don't know if he's got history of winning a big scoreline and keeping the 11.
Yeah,
he does love rotation more than...
He does love it to rotate, and he'll pick a team that he thinks gives us the best chance. But I don't think Sheffield United is that different a game to Everton. In the sense that Sheffield United shut up shop, and that was the team he picked, and Everton are going to be quite defensive and low block, and it could be a different team. So maybe he thinks that Estupiñán isn't needed on the counter and his pace and that kind of thing. I don't know. I'm keeping him. I'm probably going to play him. I'm going to hope for a start, but I'm not too confident.
He'll get minutes. Like he'll get against Sheffield United. He didn't come on till the 81st minute, but even at 4 or 5-0 up, he still uses all 5 subs and puts Estupiñán on the pitch. We all didn't want him to because we're thinking we probably had a good sub 1. I think I'd had someone I was hopeful on, but I think you play him just because he will get some minutes.
Yeah, I think if like me, you've got De Bruyne, you've got Estupiñán, I've got Darwin and no bench. Like I'm not looking at this even with my one transfer as having 11 players. I'm probably going to have 10.5, maybe even 10 if De Bruyne and Estupiñán both start. That's why I'm keen to do the 8 Nori move just to clear off one, just in case one of those just doesn't feature at all, because you never really know, especially I think with De Bruyne. Tim WD points out Matoma as well has got a back injury.
Right.
So he might be out, which I think if Matoma's out, that might strengthen the case for Estupiñán down that left for that kind of work rate and energy. But who really knows? It's
years ago, Chelsea had 2 good left backs in Wayne Bridge and Ashley Cole, and the fans were crying out for. And we saw it a couple of games, one to play left back, one to play left wing. And I wonder if you could imagine Lamptey and Estupiñán like just rotating each like phase of play. One of you's left wing and one's left back. That'd be so cool.
I think if Lamptey could play like left centre back, that could be an option because they could just kind of switch around. But yeah, I mean Lamptey is a funny one because he's playing a lot more than I thought he was kind of capable of, but only got 45 minutes in the last game, and when he was subbed, it wasn't even Estupiñán that came on for him. So I think that shows that he is quite far down the pecking order, because it's amazing that Lamptey switched from right back to left back. He goes off after 45, and it's not even the only natural left back in the team that comes on for him.
Stinks of an injury, that though. Lamptey coming off at half time, and I know nothing's been said, but I wonder if he's been asked. I'll be looking at training ground pictures to see if Lamptey's even trained this week. Like, there's a chance. 45 minutes sub doesn't usually happen unless you're playing really badly or you're injured.
Yeah, he is wrapped in cotton wool though. Like any kind of like, I'm a bit tired. It's like, oh God, get him off. Like we can't risk it.
Yeah,
bless him. I absolutely love Lamptey. David James Whiteway says Saka captain. Tempting. Where's your captain going this week?
I'm going boring. Haaland being back in the game does make it difficult, and it does make it boring. I loved him being out and discussing captaincy in depth each week. And this week, there is an argument, even with Haaland, to look at players like Saka. Saka is the only other player I would go to if it wasn't Haaland, but I am going Haaland. Maybe if Arsenal had won in the week and been convincing in Portugal. But, it's a Wednesday trip back for a Saturday fixture. Usually, if you've played Wednesday, Premier League sort you out the Thursday with a Sunday fixture. And it would have been the 12:30 on TNT Sport in the UK, and it's been moved to 8 p.m, which is why the FPL deadline's been moved, because Arsenal are coming back from Portugal. So, I don't know. They could have heavy legs. They'll be disheartened from the defeat. Newcastle are on the ropes, but not for me.
No, I think I'm more into it than you are, but I'm still probably going to go for Haaland. I think Saka is a great option, and I expect Arsenal to score a couple past Newcastle, because they defensively they are
I do too.
Statistically the worst team at the moment. He's going to have space because they've got no pace at the back, and he's going to be attacking Dan Burn at left back.
Probably. Hal just loves him.
I know. I mean, that's a mismatch if I ever heard one. But I mean, Haaland, I look at him over the double game week. I know he only got 10 points, but in that Chelsea match, he could have had 3-4 goals in that game. They beat Bournemouth 6-1. At the Etihad earlier in the season. Remember that was the game that he came off at half time with a 1-pointer in a 6-1. So he's got history in this fixture, but I just think you pick your battles a little bit, and it's probably still going to be Haaland for me this week. I mean, Hwang's the other option. If you are going to get him and really go for it, and you really think Wolves are going to win that game 4-5-0,
double down.
He will haul in that match if that happens. So.
Yeah. Hwang is. I think I ran a poll, and I think Saka and Hwang were the two favourites outside of Haaland. Some might go Watkins, but I just mentioned that Forest are very good defensively under Nuno. I think they're ranked second since he's been there, are behind Arsenal for best defence in the league. And remember, Forest did beat Villa earlier this season, so there's a bit of form there. It's a bit of a
comfortably as well when they were playing really well.
Yeah, that was out of nowhere, that one. So I don't know. Look. I do think Villa will score, and I do think Villa will probably win the football match, but it could be more of a sort of modest 1-0 or 2-1. I don't see a high ceiling for Watkins in that fixture.
Yeah. Goldhead says, do either of you own KDB? We both do, and we're both playing him. So make of that what you will.
With regret, Az and I don't usually indulge or spend time on leaks and stuff around deadlines, but there is a chance on FPL Twitter you will see loads of rubbish news, and you might see some accurate ones. But they do play in the 5:30 kickoff, so that's not a banker either.
I think he's probably benched again. Look, just from what we've heard. I mean, I was surprised that he was on the bench in the last game, given the comments. From Pep.
He didn't even warm up, so he wasn't.
No.
He was never going to go on.
But it doesn't really sound like much has changed if we believe anything that man says, because he's been doing individual training and he should travel with the squad. That's all we know. So does he start ahead of the FA Cup game?
Why was he on the bench though?
I don't know.
That's weird.
I mean,
do you think they only saw he had the niggle? Yeah, 0-0, 60 minutes in. You expect to see him warming up on the touchline, but it was no, we can't go there. So maybe he didn't report the niggle till. Or maybe he felt something on the way to the ground or something. It was almost too late. And you're going to watch the game, so watch it from the bench. But of course, we're not going to use you. I don't know.
Very, very weird. Or to instill a bit of fear into Brentford.
Possibly.
I don't know.
Mind games.
I thought it was very strange that he didn't come on. Manuel Simpera says, is Hwang on pens? We think so.
I'm not sure he is.
Not sure?
Sarabia has taken one this season when I think Hwang was off the pitch, and vice versa. So they've not been on the pitch together for a pen. And obviously, Cunha was the penalty taker. Sarabia's record's really good.
16 in 16.
Is it? And this is a guy that he's played for PSG when PSG were spending all that money. He's got 25 odd caps for Spain. He's got pedigree. He's a big fish. He's a. I think it's a close one. That I would probably veer towards Sarabia. Don't buy Hwang because of penalties.
We're very, very contrarian with each other today. I think Hwang is on pens. I think he scored that. We were talking about on the FPL show earlier. He scored that goal in the quarterfinal of the Asia Cup. Son won the penalty for South Korea.
Oh yeah.
And who steps up to take it? Hwang.
I didn't know that.
Scores it. He scored his last penalty for Wolves that he took, and he's just the more senior option, and he's the main striker. Now I think he will pull rank on that and take it. So yeah. don't know. We can say different things, but yeah. I think he probably takes him. But you're right. There is definitely doubt. Good question here from FPL Twiggy: is Rashford of interest? He'll be playing up top now.
If you're going to buy Rashford, you may as well save the money and buy Garnacho. Do note that Rashford still gets early subs, and Garnacho is like higher up the pecking order, and he's so much cheaper and arguably equal goal threat. Rashford playing 9, I don't think it suits him. I think we'd rather see Rashford out left. It's a bit like when Sterling plays number 9, playing number 9, and Bowen.
And
there's
Palmer.
A few examples, and Palmer. There's loads of examples. Often it's not good for our wide forwards to be playing 9. It actually lessens their appeal. So yeah. It's not always the case, but with Rashford it is. I would swerve Rashford. And actually, United are just worse without Haaland.
Yeah.
So maybe I'd be slightly cooler on United now.
The only flip side to that, I guess, is Fulham don't have Paulinho, which is a massive loss. And actually, I think I saw something that says their goals conceded goes from like 1.2 to like 3.8 or something when he's not in the team. And I mean, you are getting a Rashford playing up top. And I know we haven't always seen the best from him, but... You know, you'd like to think an out-of-position midfielder in a game like that would do quite well. I've got Garnacho, and I'm more than happy with him.
Yeah.
I just think if you're looking for someone this week, and you were going to go for Haaland, and now you're not, and now you're looking for a midfielder instead, I think you can do worse than Rashford. But I think if I was picking Hwang or Rashford, I'd still go for Hwang.
Yeah, definitely for me. But you know, I'm Mr. Anti-United quite often, so.
So am I. So am I. And I nearly had double. This week until the injury. Producer points out Haaland's injured, so Anthony will be playing. Just forget Man United attack. Yeah.
Yeah. Or it will be Bruno I think you're right. It will be Anthony, but there's a chance Bruno moves to the right where we have seen him, and McSauce comes in the middle. McTominay does deserve a start after all his goals.
He does. It'll be interesting to see Garnacho on the left, because that's his natural position. He's been playing on the right, obviously. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. On the left. Dennis Robertson likes that. He says, just buy McTominay. Should be up front. It could well be.
I mean, I don't know if we'll see McTominay number 9, but it could start. And to be fair, like, McTominay's goals have been brilliant. Like, fair play. Like, he's good. Maybe he's better coming off the bench. Maybe he's better when the game's a bit more open. You know, you have to change tack and go long. Yeah.
TSH says Bailey versus Bowen. We said earlier, I said Bowen. Where are you leaning?
Oh, I love this, mate. We are disagreeing on everything.
I'm going
Bailey. Yeah, it was Bailey who I was going to buy at the start of the week, and now it's going to be Hwang. So those are the two I was looking at.
Thank God I haven't got a 1.8 million rank anymore, so I can actually have some credit in the bank. You're having a good season, by the way, 108k at this stage.
Oh, I was flying about 4 weeks ago. I was 45k.
Yeah.
I went from 45k to 145k in 1 week. So 100k red arrow at that rank is like the worst game week probably in my entire life. I had Foden benched for 20. I didn't own I've not owned Richarlison, and that was the week he went big. So I was having a really good season. I'm doing all right now though. Yeah, but
it's annoying because like in my position, like if I got to where you are, I would be like top of the world. I'd be like, yes, I've broken back into top 100k. It's great. But when you're down in the good ranks, and then you start having a few bads, you can be in the same rank as someone else, but have completely different, you know, kind of feelings. And I don't know. Like Mark always talks about, kind of form in FPL. And like, imagine if you go from 30k to 100k, suddenly you start maybe doubting some of your decisions. Whereas if I go from 500 to 100, I'm like, everything I do touches, is turned into gold.
Yeah, so true. And I'd feel exactly the same. Like if I'd just had a couple of massive green arrows to get to 108k, I'd be laughing. I guess it's the form of what have you done in the last fortnight, and you do feel that in FPL.
Chris James says smallest violin in the world. Also, Chris, I saw your comment about the Shure mic. It clearly wasn't set to be using the Shure mic, because every time you laughed, it was like my eardrums were bursting. So
on that, can I just say, I don't know if everyone knows, if you experience when you watch Az's streams on Scout, he uses these 3 different links you have to click on. But hopefully you lot are all benefiting from amazing audio and picture. I mean, it's completely the opposite of how what I did.
We're going to find out when we switch over to your channel in 5 minutes or so.
But it's great. I'm glad to know that you're keeping standards high, mate.
Thank you, of course. Well, Mark wouldn't let me have it any other way. You know what he's like with things like this.
God,
it's good. Would you move Arson out for Garnacho, even though Spurs has Palace next game week, says Denver CPT? Who's Arson?
Richarlison.
Oh, Richarlison. All these bloody, abbreviations. Yeah.
I'm someone that hasn't owned Richarlison, and it did cost me when I had the big red violin. But I wouldn't be selling him. I wouldn't be selling him. No, I mean, with the fixtures coming up, I think everyone's going to be buying Richarlison. Yeah, you got to take the hit this week, but I'd be keeping him.
Yeah, so would I if I could. I think he's a good option, especially with 29 kind of on the horizon. I mean, you might need to if you've got Porro, Richarlison, Palmer, 3 Liverpool. These are you need to start making some decisions. But I think Richarlison would be pretty low down the list of ones that I'd want to lose.
Sell Porro before you sell Richarlison.
Yeah, exactly.
Possibly Palmer. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's because I was thinking of doing Palmer to Hwang. But I've kind of gone off that idea now, I think.
Yeah, I'm holding Palmer almost at all costs for me. But it depends when you bought him as well, because team value does matter. It's an extra $500,000 you might have on wildcard, because we're all going to buy Palmer back on wildcard. So your sell price actually matters on this one, because I didn't care too much about team value, especially this part of the season towards the end. It's way more important at the start. But if you know you're going to sell Palmer now, and if you know when you wildcard you're going to be bringing him in, that could be literally having an extra 0.5 on your wildcard.
Atelier says, is Porro definitely a sell? I mean, he has got the injury, and we don't know exactly the extent of that, do we, at the moment?
No, he has insinuated on Instagram that he don't sell him yet, but that's just... I mean, I'm sure originally we were told 2 to 3 weeks. So that would mean in contention for 27.
Yeah, I think from what we've seen, he's probably back next week. Again, I think he's one that you keep him if you can. But if you don't have any players, he might be someone who you need to... Especially given the fact he hasn't really had too many attacking returns recently. So people mentioning Adingra. That's my kind of a chat. Pajita says, talk about your favourite Adingra. Akash says, why is no one buying Adingra? Yeah, they should. I think he's a good pick. What is he, 5 million, 5-1, something like that?
He got all those starts before AFCON as well, didn't he? Like, he was nailed.
Yeah, 5 million he is. The issue is the lack of returns. Lots of ones, lots of twos. He has got 6 goals this season though, which isn't bad. But 2 of those came in the last match. I mean, I like it. Garnacho's 4.9. You've got Hwang playing out of position. You've got Neto. You've got Palmer. You've got Douglas Luiz or Bailey with the game in 29 as well. And if you really want a Brighton player, you'd probably argue that Gross is a slightly better pick, even though he's a bit more expensive. But yeah, I mean, Adingra's great. I love him. I think he's absolutely amazing. So if you want him,
great.
If you want him, why not get him? Sushant says thoughts on Palace attack with new manager bounce potentially. I haven't got any bloody players. They're all injured.
Yeah, Eze and Elise are out. We know that. I think I saw that on the Scout tweet earlier. And guys, if you want a roundup of fitness, like on the Scout website, and this isn't even for members, this is everyone. You can view that roundup. It's really, really conclusive. But no, not for me. Like, I'd swerve Palace at all costs.
Yeah, I think this one from Kaj is an easy one. Best 4-2 or less defender.
Maguire's 4-2, isn't he? But I don't know if he came off.
Yeah, there's some people thinking that Evans is going to start. The next game.
Branthwaite, I do think Sean Dyche teams and Branthwaite will be in all our wildcard teams.
I like Van Heck at 4-1.
Oh, is he 4.2?
He's 4-1.
Jeez, that's cheap.
Yeah, we don't keep any clean sheets, which is
but you have just kept 3 and 6, which is bloody rare. Like your defence in the last 6 game weeks, 3 clean sheets. That is almost unheard of. But
yeah, it is. Yeah, but I do like him. Jammer says looking forward to seeing Enciso back.
When?
He's back on the bench apparently this weekend, so that'd be nice. If he does well, he might get treated to a nice Italian dinner at De Zerbi's house. We are going to go in just a couple of minutes, so we will just take a couple more questions. I saw one that I was going to take, but now I've lost it. David Jackson says, should I sell Zinchenko or a Stupinan?
Yeah, I mean, Zinchenko's doubtful, so I'd be selling him, probably, because you just need numbers this week. Yeah,
and Stupian's going to get some minutes, so probably Zinchenko. But a bit reluctant because if he does come back into the team, he's a decent differential, I think, at left back.
Yeah, and his points have actually been pretty good this season because he's not played nowhere near as much as Gabriel and Saliba, but he's still putting up good numbers.
Yeah. Evan Chowdhury says Gabriel with Saliba, or actually he says Gabriel with Saliva, might assume he means Saliba, for the double defence, or pair Odegaard with Saka for double attack. Double defence or double attack?
I was looking at Odegaard at the start of the week and then realised one of the big things with Odegaard is you get set pieces. Well, not anymore because Declan Rice is on them and on them very well. So that might be enough to swing it, and they're the best defence in the league. Double defence.
I like the double defence. I mean, I don't expect one against Newcastle, but Sheffield United, Brentford, Chelsea, they're 3 very real possibilities for clean sheets. And like we've all got Gabriel or Saliba anyway. So the only way you're going to benefit from it is if you double up on them. I just can't see you regretting going for double Arsenal defence. It just looks a bit too good. So yeah, I'd go with that. And we'll take one more question from BB Defender. It was in the Black Box chat the other night. Good to see you. And on my team selection stream. And he says Amari Bell is 3.9. That's not even the one I meant to click. Amari Bell is 3.9 as a double coming up. Would you go for Amari Bell?
I've got Bell.
Nice.
I've got Bell. I mean, yeah, he's in my team, and I had like 4 million to buy Haaland back. I had like 4 million to buy a defender, and Bell was the standout. And the week he came in, he got me 2 bonus.
For
3 whopping points.
I can't believe that. Ridiculous.
Yeah, no, that was hilarious. He's not good for bonus usually, and he's got no goal threat.
And he gave the ball to Haaland for the goal.
Yeah,
last game.
But he does play 90 every week, and you'll get 180 minutes out of him in a double. So yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, the issue is he hasn't got a game this week, obviously. But if you're trying to get funds for someone and you've already got an 11, then maybe that's the way you go. But I wouldn't be expecting too much. The one I meant to click on was from Big Lou, the final question we have today, which is start Charlie Taylor or Trippier. Charlie Taylor's coming off everyone's benches. He's been injured for so long. Is he going to be the hero again?
I mean, I've got Taylor in my 11 this week. I've got all the big names. Taylor and Bell. I'd start Trippier.
You're Alice Stupid now. You remember for big week.
Honestly, go Trips because you've always got upside there.
Yeah, I think so. You go for Trips. We're not even 100% sure Charlie Taylor's going to start.
Yeah, he came off the bench. He's only got 10 minutes back since he's been out 6 weeks. So hopefully he's good for a start now. Yeah,
he's going to score. Like, it's guaranteed. He's done this before earlier in the season.
Yeah, he has.
Right, we are going to stop it there. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Gianni, thanks for joining in place of Sam for this
not at all.
Q&A. And yeah, we're going to head over to your channel to carry on the fun, right?
Yeah, you're about to see a very less professional setup. There will be no clean feed and sharp cameras on my StreamYard. I think I've sent you the link, Az. Let's see if you can join. But I'll go live in 30 seconds and hopefully Az will join in the next minute or two.
Perfect. Well, we will see you over there. Do make sure you've liked this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe to the Fantasy Football Scout YouTube channel and check the website and all the membership offerings and everything that's going on over there. I'll be back next week with someone. If Chris can sort his mic out, maybe I'll even do it with him as a bit of a treat for him, not for the viewers. Nah, I'm joking. But yeah, we'll see you in a second on Gianni's channel.
See you guys.